The Toronto Raptors bounced out 4 straight losses to the Cleveland Cavaliers, 59 wins, over and done with. It has dissipated into thin air. So now Masai Ujiri has a few different ideas potentially on what he can do to this roster. We have gone over potential DeMar DeRozan trades, and now Kyle Lowry. Here's what the Ringer put. The Timberwolves stand out since Jimmy Butler can become a UFA in 2019, expressed displeasure with Minnesota's youth for not understanding the urgency of their sitch. The Wolves need to keep him happy. He's friends with Lowry from their time playing together on Team USA. There are also rumblings that Butler recruited Lowry to the Wolves last offseason, remember that? So, previous trade target would be Andrew Wiggins, who has failed to live up to expectations in Minnesota, but has still shown flashes.
Where's Andrew Wiggins from?
Oh, Canada. It's a money trade because remember in the 2000s, it was always talked about, but it never happened. A really good point guard, 1 MVP, undersized, Hall of Famer, white guy from Canada, took up basketball as a second sport, soccer was his first, went to Santa Clarita. Oh, and by the way, he showed Mike D'Antoni's offense and how good it could be in the 2000s. Do you know who I'm speaking of?
Michael Jordan?
Correct.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash. This is something that they have been waiting for. Someone to anoint as the Canadian. Like, look, man, you can only go so far with Corey Joseph. Sorry, hook 'em. You know who they want? Andrew Wiggins. I think this would be a money trade.
Again, like you said, you mentioned it earlier. We talked about guys from Chicago going back home. You didn't mention them, but also Dwayne Wade. We went back home. Like, oh, we're back home.
He did for a little.
It's gonna look good. All this
He
stuff.
did for a little.
Everyone gets excited when someone goes home.
Yes.
LeBron, of course, Cleveland. Whenever someone has a chance to go home, the fan base would love it because that's obviously more ticket sales, jersey sales.
Yep.
Imagine an Andrew Wiggins Whedon North shirt.
Oh.
T-shirt.
Oh, that's why it's a
jerseys.
win. It is a PR win for the team. So if that does not happen, here are a few trades that we saw online. The Wizards would get Kyle Lowry, the Pistons would get John Wall and Jan Mahimi, and the Raptors would load up Reggie Jackson, Langston Galloway, Stanley Johnson, a #1 first-round pick from Detroit. No. The Raptors do not get enough. Unless you're trying to rebuild, then you flip Reggie Jackson and Stanley Johnson for like another first-round and second-round pick. Not gonna happen.
Reggie Jackson is so underrated.
Ridiculously underrated. Best backup in the league is his backup, Ish Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Ish Smith is awesome. He can ball. Here's a few that I also don't like. The Raptors would get Andrew Wiggins, Jeff Teague, Gorgie Jang, and a 2019 first in order to give up, this one's okay actually, Kyle Lowry, Ibaka, who was awful, and Jonas Valanciunas, who was born in the wrong era. So I'm actually okay with that one. I like that one. This is the one I don't like. George Hill, Kardashian, J.R. Smith, and Jordan Clarkson, and the 2018 first-round Brooklyn pick, which again is going to be somewhere in the top 10 for DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry. You're not getting enough.
God,
you're not getting enough.
Oh, so they
how about 2 more first-round picks?
So you get rid of Dwayne Casey, then you also get rid of DeRozan and Lowry. So then who you have left? Tristan Thompson.
Craig's favorite player, Jordan Clarkson. Chuck it away, baby. Here's the last one I saw. I don't know how I feel about this. Marvin Williams, who's okay, overpaid, and Kemba Walker for Kyle Lowry and DeLon Wright. Kemba Walker's better than Kyle Lowry. Kemba Walker's better than DeLon Wright. This is offensively, of course.
Okay.
Kyle Lowry's better defensively. What you would have is a sustainable and consistent three-point shooter, although undersized. And in order to get that, you'd have to take on a bad contract and you'd have to give up a good young player in DeLon Wright. I don't know if I love it. The only one that I could potentially see is the swap Kyle Lowry for Andrew Wiggins, and then the Wiggins T Gorgie Jang for Lowry JV.
The intrigue of Wiggins going home is too great. I would even like to see that.
You would, as a non-Raptor fan, you'd like to see it.
Yeah, no, it's like that's excitement. I've been in Toronto many times. I got now gonna be in-laws there. They love their Raptors.
Congratulations,
right? Thank you. And they love their Raptors. And they talk about Wiggins when he was going to go in the league. Who was the guy who got drafted? He was also from Toronto. Got drafted
Anthony Bennett
to Cleveland.
That's Anthony Bennett.
Didn't pan out. They wouldn't talk about it.
Last team, Minnesota Timberwolves. Didn't play, barely. So the intrigue, I agree with you, is awesome. You know what Minnesota could use? a point guard. A reliable, natural point guard. Because Jeff Teague didn't get it done. Derrick Rose wants to come back, bring him off the bench. That's really good for the team. And they're going to trade Tyus Jones.
He was showing flashes at the end of the year.
He was.
Of the old glory days, I think.
And then you would have Towns, Butler, and Kyle Lowry, depending on who you give up, of course. But let's just say that Taj Gibson will probably still be there as well, and Derrick Rose. And then you could build the bench. I don't know if Jordan Crawford's hitting free agency, but that's a decent team. It's not a team that's gonna it's not a team that's gonna kill it in the West and come out and go to the finals, but they're better than where they were. And you have the same player in Andrew Wiggins and Jimmy Butler. Butler's obviously better, but you have the same sort of build of a player. So let us know your thoughts. And what trade should Kyle Lowry be involved in? Send those as well in the comments. Subscribe to 2IT Sports. We'll see you soon.